Now, I don't claim to be any kind of psychic, although I'd hazard a guess that the vast majority of you probably have a ready meal in your fridge, or possibly a delivery app on your phone. For those times when cooking just feels like way too much effort. There's actually a pretty good chance that you've got both of those things in regular use. And do you know what? There's absolutely no shame in that, because it's just what happens now. It's just the modern way. In today's fast-paced world, we work so hard to juggle everything that any kind of food admin just feels like yet another thing on the endless to-do list. I mean, seriously, who wants to come home after a busy day at work and a sweaty commute and start peeling carrots and washing broccoli? Exactly. Particularly when you know that there's actually a cheesy, carby, creamy tray of shrink wrap something in the fridge that'll do just fine. You know the kind of thing, off those slow motion adverts with the cheese drip and the Fleetwood Mac track in the background. Hot and ready in exactly the same time as it takes for you to slice your limes and sort your gin out for your post-work tipple. The impact of our slightly taboo eating habits is pretty massive. That increased access to convenience food options in recent years has created a sort of beige food vortex. And that sounds extreme, but you'll know, when you're busy, you go for those comfort food options, and they're often pretty much that colour. See, we know we should be eating better. We get that sort of thing of we need to eat a rainbow of fruits and veg and all the whole foods and things. But it's never that simple, is it? And when the volume gets turned down on that colour, that's when we start to feel rubbish and the problems start. It's not surprising that there's been an increase in adults recently reporting symptoms of anxiety and depression. I mean, clearly the pandemic hasn't helped. But where was the national strategy to help us to eat well while we were juggling the homeschool fun or trying to work from home on a crappy internet connection? There's one thing for sure. The food delivery apps definitely noticed their opportunity to shine. And actually, there was plenty of this going on at the swipe of a finger whenever you needed that comfort food hit. I can't honestly say that there were really many portions of fruit or veg in any of those. Although maybe there was a bit of soggy iceberg and a few gherkins. You see, even those of us that follow a plant-based way of eating, we're not immune to the beige. Once upon a time, vegans and vegetarians ate things like beans and lentils and actual vegetables. Not anymore, though. There's actually a worrying trend of new people that are converting to plant-based eating that actually eat no fresh veg at all. Instead, they've been sucked in by all of the meat alternatives that have saturated the market. Interestingly, the UK government do recognise that this is a problem. They understand that actually those among us that struggle with our mental health already, when we have a bad patch, that's when those cravings are triggered. That's when we want that comfort food hit. That's something that gives us that warm hug from the inside. Usually pretty carb-tastic. Often, nutrition-wise, a bit like eating cardboard, but it gives us that comfort feeling that we need to help us feel better for that short period of time. It gives us all those nostalgic feelings, like that quick chippy tea after swimming lessons in the 90s. As a child of the 80s and 90s myself, and health and wellness education was, well, it was non-existent, if we're being honest. Like, it literally didn't feature on the curriculum at all. You see, we hadn't had that celebrity chef intervention that happened in the early 2000s that suddenly made a difference. So school food, in particular, was a bit like this. There's a colour theme here. So break time, defo, pack of crisps. Without fail, every day. Often there was a bit of a jealousy thing if anyone actually had, you know, the thick, ridged ones. If you were feeling really bougie, you'd actually have a sausage roll as well, if your mum had given you some coin for your pocket. Now, lunch, that's where the magic happens. So every single day, particularly in my school, chips with cheese and gravy. Now, I am northern, so it's it's an acquired taste, but if you haven't tried it, don't cringe, you've got to try it, it's amazing. Any veg, clearly there's no veg on here, any veg that was available, I mean, it was very much an afterthought. You definitely got the feeling that the dinner ladies forgot, or like it was just left in a pot and it was just boiled to death. I never saw anybody eat it, ever. There's a slight chance here that I am exaggerating a little bit, but seriously, school food was a bit of a crispy pastry beige fest. And at the time, do you know what? It didn't matter because, we were young enough, we could shake it off, no worries. And actually, if the school food was the only issue, that almost wouldn't be an issue because surely you're eating really well at home, right? Maybe not. So, bookended around the school Beige Fest was usually Pop-Tarts for breakfast. Awesome. And actually, after the plethora of school food delights, tea was quite often processed potato and meat shapes. All the 90s favourites, with a side of spaghetti hoops. No vegetables. Now, it's weird, isn't it? The 90s was just a weird time for food. And it's not surprising, really, that there's so many of us in our 30s and 40s that struggle to eat well now because this is what we were eating every day. You see, our parents didn't have the benefit that we do now of having a little scroll through social media and finding that online childhood nutritionist that's willing to dispense free advice. The entire weaning process laid out from birth to the teen years, with all the picky eating phases dealt with in between. Free recipes, tips, just at the scroll of a finger. You see, we know, as parents ourselves, that we should be eating better. We know that. A lot of us are very well educated and actually have plenty of disposable income. So it's actually not a problem to buy those veg. We know what to do with them. But it's not that simple, is it? Because actually we know from our experience of those childhood nutritionists on Instagram that actually those deep-rooted beige eating habits from when we were younger, they're pretty hard to shake. See, there's actually quite a lot of people that belong to a secret society of veg avoiders. They hide in plain sight. There's probably quite a few people in this room that the thought of eating a tomato makes you come out in a bit of a sweat. Hands up, me too, yeah? I still can't eat tomatoes. But it's interesting, isn't it? People ignore that. There's so much more of an issue in this country than simply tackling food poverty or making sure our kids eat their 5 a day. Obviously, that's important too. We're not taking away from that. But isn't there something that we need to do about all of those people that fell into that beige food vortex in their formative years. Now, any mention of any adjustment or improvement to national health strategy or particularly anything to do with food, if we're being honest, it's a very emotive subject. There is almost always loud voices at the back of the room. How dare they make us eat well? It's nanny state, I'm not doing that. No, you can't force me. Well, think for a minute. Who are those people that have the loudest voices, that moan about it the most? Oh, that's right. They're probably the fully paid up members of the Veg Dodgers Club. They're probably that absolutely petrified 40-year-old sat reading the news, thinking that a barrow load of sprouts from Christmases past is going to just be delivered to their doorstep. Like, seriously, that's not going to happen, is it? It would be really funny if it did, but, you know, it's one of those things that people always take things way, way out of proportion and panic because it's that fear of the unknown. Wouldn't it be nice, though, if the food manufacturers and the government and all the policies and the strategies that are put in place to actually support us actually gave a shit about us and our health and our overall wellness rather than how much money we were able to hand over? It's not hard to help people to eat better. It's just become the status quo that everything's gone a bit beige, covered in cheese, deep fried, available at the click of a finger or the scroll of a screen. So what's the solution? I can stand here and rant about the fact that we all need to eat more veg, but it's not going to suddenly make people want to eat more tomatoes or eat kale. It's actually really simple. The food manufacturers and the convenience food companies need to understand that maybe they need to care about us like that millennial mum scrolling through Instagram, searching for that easy way to help to hide the good stuff, help to actually still keep that comfort food feel, that food that you really, really crave. Hide the cauliflower in the mashed potato. Pop some green lentils in a burger and blend some vegetables into pasta sauces. As a parent, we know how important it is, but maybe it's time for actually the wider food industry to sort of deal with us like a picky eating tween. We need to hide more good stuff in every single convenience food option available. We just need to accept that that convenient instant delivery food system is not going anywhere. That habit and that need to have instant options available, it's not going away. For our overall mental wellness and for the benefit of our kids, we need to look after ourselves a little bit better. Banish the beige and turn up the volume on the veg. It's just something we need to do. Thank you.